Okay, today is May 22nd, Wednesday, and I guess you can tell that I'm right down near Civic Center. You probably don't recognize this area in San Francisco, but the Manhattanization of San Francisco has more than amply begun. Anyway, what I want to read to you is, off the Mayor's Office of Disability website, since I'm going to the Mayor's Office of Disability. The Mayor's Office of Disability used to be in the War Memorial Building, I believe it was called, and it's moved now to 1155 Market Street, first floor. Anyway, off the website for the Mayor's Office of Disability, I have to read this to you so that you can see the total farce and, the misleading lies, the unaccountability. Oh, it just goes on and on. The mission of the Mayor's Office on Disabilities is to ensure that every program, service, benefit, activity, and facility operated or funded by the City of San Francisco is fully accessible to and usable by people with disabilities. MOD is responsible for overseeing the implementation and local enforcement of the city's obligations under the American with Disabilities Act, as well as other federal, state, and local access codes and disability rights laws. This is off the website. Now, let's go ahead and continue with this little farce and this little misdirection. I mean, it's a famous magician's trick, to circumvent people's rights and abilities to use the services for what they're intended. The, shall we say, the beautiful, meaningless words are just that. Anyway, here we are, 1155, Mayor's Office of Disability. Nothing about videotaping, etc., etc.
All right, how you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. So, Mayor's Office of Disability. The Mayor's Office of Disability is open, operating, everything else. Here we go. Let us continue. Good morning. Hello, I'm here to follow up on my non-help through the Mayor's Office of Disability in the past.
Okay, let me get Carla for you.
That would be wonderful. Now, remember last time I was given nothing but a short shift as far as video recording, everything else. Now, mind you, this is the public space. It was interesting that as I looked through the door behind me, the person for security was there looking through the window. Hello, Carla.
Hello, good morning, Jason. How are you today?
The truth or pleasantries? It's, I'm of course not doing well. I'm still following up on everything else. The last example was me coming in and continuing to try to follow up and being told I couldn't videotape everything else. How much longer is this going to go on? And
what can I do for you today, Jason?
Well, I'd like for you to explain what your mission scope is off your website to me. Shall I read it to you?
Sure,
so that you can explain it to me and explain why I'm not receiving any of the help that I've requested, especially after the 11/27 meeting with Ross, in which I drank that cup of poison and all the illegalities thereafterwards committed by DPH. This is the Mayor's Office of Disabilities, is it not?
Yes, Jason, it is.
Thank you. Well, I'd hate for us to have a service disagreement as opposed to, what constitutes a valid service. All right. The mission of the Mayor's Office on Disabilities is to ensure that every program, service, benefit, activity, and facility operated or funded by the City of San Francisco is fully accessible to and usable by the people with disabilities. MOD is responsible for overseeing the implementation of local enforcement of the city's obligations under the Americans with Disabilities Act, as well as other federal, state, and local access codes and disability rights laws. So apparently there are laws for disability.
Yes, there are, Jason.
Yes, so why have mine not been followed?
That's a pretty broad statement, Jason, and you have to tell me exactly what the issue is.
Oh, I think we went through that quite clearly with the sheriff's meeting on 11/27 with me trying to follow up and being told by you that, I should leave I think we've been quite clearly through all this. Could you please explain to me? I'd like to set up a meeting again so that we can have the full panel of all the experts that we had last time who further abused, harmed, and victimized me, and for it to be on YouTube, and for the world to see that this is a sham. This is not helping somebody with their disabilities.
Have you asked either the health department or the sheriff's department to respond to your concerns?
Yes, I have.
Great. And what's their response?
None. Thank you. A rigged system. Just like the response I got from you guys following up. You must leave. Unacceptable.
So Jason, you're giving me a lot of generalities here. What exactly are you asking the sheriff's
So you don't remember the 11/27 meeting? Is that your spin?
No, I do remember the meeting in November, and I also remember some of the things that they told you. So what exactly
Happened after I drank the cup of poison? You mean when I went back to the Department of Public Health and it once again had me escorted off with a bogus restraining order that apparently the city attorney or the DA, if they don't choose to support me, there's nothing that apparently anyone can do except continue to break the laws? I really don't understand.
So
Please
now-
explain to me.
I
Now, let's not forget that on March 15th, I went back to the Department of Public Health and was once again denied services, access, and accommodation, everything as a person with disabilities. And then on May 1st, I went back and I was literally assaulted by a sheriff's deputy, you know, in addition, and that's on YouTube. So let me ask you, since the 11/27 meeting, how have you followed up with me to ensure that my rights, benefits, and accesses to all the programs, especially specifically with me asking for programmatic access, was filled, or did it just fall by the wayside?
You know, Jason, you were offered many things in that meeting, and one of them was to be able to access the health clinic.
And it all failed. So now what is your spin?
I don't have a spin, Jason.
Oh, thank you. How's about some accountability, some follow-up, and some insurances that, you know,
Have you
what you
contacted-
stand for?
Have you contacted the sheriff's department and the Department of Public
I've already answered that question. Thank you. Shall we move on to the next dead end
What's your
distraction?
What's your next
I already
question?
told you, I want to set up a meeting and videotape and go through the list and point out everything on the video to show the sham of the Mayor's Office of Disability.
So, Jason, since your issues are really with the Department of Public Health and the Sheriff's Office, I would suggest that you request that meeting through them.
Why, thank you for your luscious, wonderful, incorrect spin. My issues are with the Mayor's Office of Disability, which is supposed to enforce, per your website, the laws. So, no, I would have to say it also has to deal with you. Thank you for the diversion, the risk management, the evasion, the lack of accountability, but it's quite transparent. Thank you. So when can I get this meeting so that I can come in and videotape, lay out everything, show how it's flowcharted into oblivion and to fail, and how nobody's accountable afterwards, and the whole game is rigged?
So, Jason, did I hear that you've actually filed a lawsuit against the city?
I don't know. Did you? And if you did, who did you hear it from? Because obviously you haven't been following up on my concerns. Has it been the other side's concerns that you've been more concerned about? Legality as opposed to humanity?
I would actually ask you, Jason.
You did, and I answered you.
Have you filed a lawsuit?
Oh,
against the
well,
city attorney?
excuse me. You know, that's something I choose not to answer.
It has some relevance, though, because if you filed a lawsuit, then a city attorney would be involved in any discussion.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful. You know, why don't you find out, do the research, and then if you want to have a city attorney present at the meeting that I'm requesting here at the Mayor's Office of Disability, bring it on. I'll be more than happy to talk to him about Section 632, the evasion of people's legal rights and medical rights. I'll be more than happy to have the city attorney respond to that because he hasn't yet.
Okay? So
Yes.
why don't you leave your contact information, Jason?
I believe you have that, but in the meantime, I tell you what I'll do. I'll email it to you with verification of everything else.
So, Jason, why don't you email it to me, and why don't you actually ask me very specifically what you think our office can do to help you?
No, madam, I'm asking for a meeting so that when I come in and videotape and point out specifically what you can't do to help, how it's rigged to fail, how you're unaccountable, it will be there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's not forget, this is the Mayor's Office of Disability, and I've read the mission statement. So let's see how well you live up to it. Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless. Let's see how much longer this farce continues, because I will go to the end for what's right.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem. I'm not the failure. Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless.